Welcome to Live and Wired. I am dubbing Eric in here as we recorded this, and the mic battery just out. Didn't know it is overhead, Eric, and I forgot to check it. So this is Justin dubbing in for Eric. I'm going to cover all of the flyers that Eric would normally cover. I know we're a few days behind, but as obviously here with these technical difficulties, I had to figure out what we're going to do, but we definitely want to plug all the cool bands and the flyers and such that we would have normally done. And Eric is telling us right now that he went to a bar and there was a show, wasn't intending to see the show. None of the bands were that memorable, didn't catch any of their names, and they were all okay. But that's pretty much it. And then we're going to get into some flyers that Eric wants to point out coming at us. First, we're going to start with Beyond All Doubt at the Fellowship Hall. It'll feature Impact, No Choice, and Forever War. It's January 25th, an all-ages show. Doors at 8:30, and it is $15. Then next we go to and some of these were passed. I obviously changed mine because I was going to mention a few more. This is normally out on Fridays, not on Mondays. This week's episode will definitely be better. Anyway, photography showcase featuring performances by Run Into the Sun, Portraits and Sutures, and you get to see prints by Emily Lauren, Diego Andino, Jesse Carlton, Jade Whitlock, and Ricky Avalos. And you can see all of their social media handles next to them. January 17th, also at Fellowship. It's $15, and it is 8 p.m. Make sure you're there if you're here. Next up, there's the Noogie Show. That's one of Eric's flyers. I was at that show. Those guys great. Shout out to Anthony in the band. They were killer. I only made it to see them. Eric was at another show, which I'll show here in just a moment. But shout out to Anthony, and also shout out to Cody of SLC Punkcast for bringing him in. It was featuring also the Idiots, Debasers, and DTA was at Loathing Clothing. A little snowy, not too bad. It was a great turnout. It was packed in Loathing Clothing. So once again, thank you to Noogie for coming through. Next up, we've got that Prikanda Fest. Prikaganda. I don't ever do that one right. That's where Eric was, and I'm sure he'll be telling us about it this upcoming week, as right now he's telling us probably about this flyer here. Al Ghul, it looks like, is on that one. Cudney, Folk Hogan, Acid Hologram, Satan himself, and Dinemaker? Maybe that's Pine Walker? I don't know. It was at Aces High. Eric's going to give a lot more details, but you can see some cool stuff there. It was a great flyer. And that will bring us to the next one, a show that Eric will be performing in himself. He'll be performing with his band, The Apathetics, also with Clem, support for Critical Rage Theory. That'll be January 18th at Aces High Saloon here in Salt Lake, 8 p.m., and it's $10 to get in. It is a Salt Lake City tribute to Rage Against the Machine, so anybody wants to go check that out. Eric will also be there and attending. And then I've got a handful of shows here too. No particular order. I'm just going to jump right in. Spark of Life, Second Coming, with Stan Tall. That's Saturday, January 18th in Fullerton, California. It's an all-ages show, 7 p.m. Respect the spot, and it is $10 to get in. Mustard Plug on January 16th. That'll be at Backstage Bar and Billiards in Vegas, also with 2:30 coming through. And again, January 16th, 7 p.m. That's a Thursday this coming week. 21 and older. Triple B is a great venue. I love catching the club shows there during Punk Rock Bowling. And then in Austin at Kick Butt Coffee on January 17th, a $10 show that starts at 7 featuring Nick's Hardcore. They're awesome. Intrusion, Out of Sight, and No Association. Then back to Vegas, there's a handful of shows. The January 10th one has obviously come and gone, but coming up, these are some locals only, featuring a bunch of really cool bands. You already missed January 10th, but this coming Friday and Saturday, there's shows. Friday the 24th and Saturday 25th, and then the 31st. So you got a bunch of great local shows to hit up. Friday this week, you can go see the Swank Bastards, the Easy, and the Hideaway. And then Joan Jett tribute set on Saturday with the Has-Nots. And IDFI just played those guys on Punkanoy Worldwide. That IDFI, awesome. Definitely should go check them out. And you got some other cool locals coming up after that. Next, we go to the Apogee BMX nonprofit benefit show. And I'm sure I didn't say that right. But January 17th, doors are at 7:30. It is a $15 all-ages show. There's a QR code on there. That little thing kind of covers it up a little bit. But you can also go see who we got there. This is in Colorado Springs, by the way, at What's Left Records. You can see the address on there. Discount Vodka, War Game, Bad Anatomy, and Human Wound. Next, we are going to have Suffocator playing. I think this is probably one that Eric was going to be probably telling us about this one. This is Washington Boulevard, so I want to say that's got to be in Ogden, but the band's Suffocator, Remains of a Martyr, and Grace and Silence, they'll be performing. That's just came and went. I goofed that one, but we're still going to mention it because the intent was to. $12, doors at 7. Sorry we missed that one. January 17th at High Dive in Denver. You'll get to see Fast Eddie. Doors are at 8, so get there early so you can see these other bands as well. Flight Kamikaze, Hell Toupee. Maybe that's... Yeah, we'll go with that. And then our pals in Battle Sites with DJ Ethan there as well. Then an Aces High. I'm sure this is another one that Eric was going to be mentioning, but Aces High show that features God is War and Lana Del Rabies. Nice. That's January 19th. That's in the end of the weekend. Support from Last, $20, 8 p.m., 21 and older to get in. So if you're here in Salt Lake, head over to Aces on the 19th. If you are in California, you can go see Fistmas Part 6, an East Coast Fist You, a celebration and benefit for Bob Gibson, Saturday, January 18th. It's $6 to $9 donation. I mean, that's great. Look at all the bands that you get to go see and some really cool ones that I have played on the podcast before. At 7 p.m. until they get done. Go to Snapper McGee's. This is in Kingston, New York. Fake Lighters, Chum Huffer, Bobby Edge, Sketchy, OC45, who we just played on the podcast. The Jukebox Romantics, Aggro or Die, and Shark Fist. So some really cool bands on that one. One I would love to go to, that's Friday, January 17th, and this is at Meadow Street, the Wood Shop in Brooklyn. You'll get to see Piston Broke, The Take, Recreational Outrage, Battery March, and B-Cop, all fantastic bands, and it's only $15. Get those tickets in advance, but if you wait until the day of, it's $20 at the door, and doors are at 6. 5 great bands there, so make sure you get there for all of them. Then in Alameda, California, you got Punk Night, Friday, January 17th, and that will be at the Fireside. It's a 21 and older show, doors at 7, but only $10 to get in, and you get to see Atom and the Breaknecks, Years 1, 12 Steps to Nothing, and then Double Plus All Right acoustic set. So great flyer on that. Love the flyers. So just a reason that we should be doing this is just to show off the flyers that people put together. Noise is playing this weekend, a couple shows in Philly and New York. On the 18th, they'll be at American Legion 214 and New York City at Berlin on the 19th. And we will get to, where's their other flyer? I've got one of the flyers. I have one of the flyers. There you go. The January 18th show for George and Johnny's birthday bash. George in Philly. Great guy. Met him at the Houston Weekender, and I've seen him a few other times, but actually talked with him and met him. Really great guy. Also at Crash Fest in San Francisco. And this features Noise, also The Take, Fat Skins. So Mike Oxley with Strike First doing a Fat Skins set. That's fucking awesome. It's free and it's all ages, but there are donations at the door. It starts at 2 p.m. because on top of those 3 bands, you also get to see Strike First, Piston Broke, Broken Heroes, the Backstabbers, from San Jose, California. Klaxon, intimidation, and bullshit detector. Every single one of them is fucking great. And that's going to be in Upper Darby, West Philly at the American Legion Post 214. So go check that one out. Then if you head over to Germany, I think in Barack, I want to say it's in Barack, Baracke, and it's 8 p.m. show, 18th of January, and you get to see Curb Stomp, Collapse, and Mudhead. Not familiar with Mudhead, but the other two bands, both great, and Collapse was just here in the States not too long ago. Sheer Terror is in the early stages still of their tour, and it is their 40 years of Go Screw. And they, as of the day that I'm recording this, the 13th, they'll be in Atlanta at the Earl, so make sure you get there. That's still time to get there, I'm sure. In Tampa, the Brass Mug on the 15th, then they'll be in Pensacola on the 16th, Birmingham on the 17th, and you can see the rest working their way back up the coast and ending in Albany on January 25th at Empire Underground. Great flyer, great band. Next up, we've got the Lucy Show featuring Short Porch, Two-Man Giant Squid, Classic Traffic, and Beauty. And it is on January 16th, Main Drag, 7 p.m. I'm sure that is New York. I don't know specifically where that is, but Lucy is from New York. So I'm sure that's where the show is. On January 18th in Martinsburg, West Virginia at Tilty McFlipper's Pinball Bar. That sounds like a great venue that I would love to go to, because also on top of just sounding like a cool venue, a $5 all ages show that doors at 7, show is at 8. You get to go see Wayward Brigade, FYA, Neanderthal, and Deliberate Strangers. So make sure you get there. That will wrap up Live and Wired for this week. Sorry for the goof up, and we'll do a better job next week. I got the battery charged in the mic. I didn't realize there was a specific battery and it needed charging. So there you go. We'll catch you next week.